Hello everyone, I'm Mayor Derek Norton at City of Smyrna. I want to welcome you to our City of Smyrna podcast. This is the second one that we've done. The first one was a few months ago with Councilman Gould and Lindley talking about all of the various projects that we've got going on and giving you updates. Today we're going to focus on the downtown redevelopment and expansion. As a reminder, this is the 9 acres that is currently the Smyrna First Baptist Church site. We're going to be expanding our downtown, and the church is moving down to Atlanta Road next to the Reed House and building a new facility there. We're very excited for them, very excited for us and all that could come and be possible in that new space. We have with us today our Director of Economic Development, Andrea Worthy, and Luis Calvo, who's with MKSK. They're the planning and development firm that's going to be helping shepherd through this process. From the mayor and council perspective, we couldn't be more excited about probably the biggest project that we've ever done in the city in our history. We are looking forward to all of the possibilities that could be green space, restaurants, retail, housing, parking. And so what we really want is to give you what you want, and that's why we're doing robust citizen input and going through a great process to make sure we get this right. I'm going to turn it over now to Luis to talk about where we are, where we're going, and what's ahead.
Well, thank you, Mayor, and I'm delighted to be here. We are at the middle of the process right now and have had a fantastic community turnout so far. So we are completing phase 1 and marching toward phase 2 of the project, where we're exploring site concepts and looking at transportation and land use solutions for the site and for the rest of downtown.
That's great. Andrea?
Yeah, I mean, Luis has sort of kicked it off for us, and he's going to give us a look at what some of the citizen input has been to date. But, you know, just as a reminder, as the mayor said at the beginning, this has been a long-term process so far. I believe we started this in late 2023, and in 2024 is when we were actually able to close on the property from a real estate transaction deal. And as soon as we did that, we went out and hired MKSK. Actually, we had interviewed a group of various consultants back in the summer last year, and they were the winning firm after interviewing 15 different companies. So I'm very happy to have them on board. And MKSK is leading it with our public engagement process, but we also have other partners on board as subs with that process. Urban Partners is going to be helping us with the real estate market analysis to make sure whatever we come up with as a concept is something that we can actually build, is financially feasible. And then SynCar Consulting Group is helping us with our transportation and pedestrian safety planning. So it's really a comprehensive look. So I would love for Luis to give you a little update and give the citizens out there an update on what so far we've heard from the Smyrna citizens in this process.
That'd be great. And I want you all to know that Andrea is kind of our secret weapon in this. She defected to the city of Sandy Springs, but helped them with their downtown development. And then we got her back, and she's helping us with this too. Luis, why don't you run through where we are with citizen input, some of the results, what's coming up next, and how everybody can get engaged?
Absolutely. And I just want to start by saying that the engagement process so far has exceeded every expectation we had. The turnout, the momentum, the positivity has just been completely overwhelming, and we don't see any signs of that stopping. So far, since we launched this process, we've engaged about 2,600 Smyrna voices, including 2,087 through an online survey alone. Just as to put it in context, that's about 3.5% of the city's population, which is huge for an online survey. So we're really excited about that. We had our first community meeting in April. In late April, we had about 250 people show up to that event. We have a second community meeting, which we'll share a little bit more information about later on. But we've also been at the Jonquil Festival. We've had an online website with interactive activities, downtownsmyrnaredevelopment.com. We also have a dedicated group of 20 plan ambassadors. These are folks who live, breathe Smyrna. They have volunteered their time to come to events and help us get the word out. We also have done 15 stakeholder roundtables with about 70 Smyrna stakeholders, business owners, residents, visitors, tourism folks, everyone who wants to get involved. In addition to that, we've just had so many conversations, people randomly emailing us, contacting us, wanting to be involved and engaging with us. And lastly, we're also having an advisory committee who we're meeting with regularly, and they are advising the project and keeping us on track as well. So if it's okay with y'all, I'd love to go through a little bit of the results from the online survey, since we've had such a great participation in that.
Thank you. That sounds to me like the most citizen input that we've had on any single project in our city's history by far. Love to hear the results. Please share.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I can tell you, it's the survey with the most responses that I've had, and I think in the last 10 years.
Wow.
So it's really exciting to see it. And, I would like to say that so many people across Smyrna have answered the survey. I think about 90-something% of those who are responding it are Smyrna residents, and about 60% of those say that they come to downtown. And when they come downtown, they come to see the restaurants, they come to visit the businesses, and they especially go to the Village Green and spend time outdoors. But about a third of those answering the survey say that they live downtown. So we're also getting that resident perspective in our responses. When people, one of the first things that we asked is, what do you like about downtown? Because we always like to start with a place of positivity. There are things that are working here really well, that are things that, people love about downtown and don't necessarily want changed, maybe improved or enhanced. But these are things that people love. And the number one thing is the restaurants. People love the restaurants. That's why they come here. They say that they come here all the time for that. They love going to the Village Green. They especially love all the events. They talk so much great things about the breadth of the events and the fact that they attract people from all ages. We also asked what people could pinpoint on a map on the survey and tell us what is their favorite part of downtown. And overwhelmingly, the Market Village and the Village Green. You can see it on the map. These are hotspots of where people are visiting. We also asked folks, what is the opportunity downtown? Where would they like to see investment? Where would they like to things happen? And when we first asked this question, we thought, well, immediately, of course, everyone's going to put dots on the site because that is the key focus of the study. But surprisingly, the site was a focus, but it's not the only thing that people care about downtown. People want to improve the streets. They want to improve the public spaces that are already there. Even though they love the Market Village and they love the Village Green, they see opportunities for making it even better, which is really amazing that they love this place and they want to improve it even more. When they told us what downtown needed, number one, overwhelmingly, every question where we ask something about what people want, more restaurants.
More retail, right?
Yeah, more restaurants, more retail, but not just any restaurant, unique local places, things that will complement what's already here. People don't necessarily want chains. They want something that has a Smyrna flavor to it, and they want it to be a destination, similar to other great downtowns in the region. People talked about downtown Alpharetta or Woodstock, people that are downtown Marietta. These are downtowns that people go already, and many of them told us that they don't necessarily want to leave Smyrna. They want to, spend a Friday or Saturday night here, and they want more options to do that. We also actually asked about the site because this is a key focus. And one of the number one question is, how supportive are you of redeveloping the site? That, we want to start the survey from that viewpoint because we want to know whether people want to see this redeveloped or whether they have a strong attachment to what it is. And they do have an attachment. Everyone loves the chapel. They talked about how much that space means to them and how grounded it is to the fabric of the city. But 68% are very supportive of redeveloping, and 18% are really supportive. So by far, a clear, strong majority are supportive of this becoming a mixed-use development that is an extension of downtown.
And regarding the chapel, I want to remind everybody that we, from the very beginning, that is going to stay and be used as a city facility, an event facility. That was a major point from the very beginning, and I'm looking forward to that remaining as part of whatever development goes there.
Absolutely, and as a preview, every option that we're exploring has the chapel as a main component because as a public facility, it's a major landmark for the southern portion of downtown. We also asked what they like to see on the site. And I think you're going to guess pretty quickly what they like to see on the site, and it's restaurants. People would like to see more places to eat, more places to shop, things related to entertainment. But people also want to see places to live or, a mixed-use environment, something that motivates folks to go there, not necessarily just to go to a restaurant, but people told us that they like to spend an afternoon in downtown. They like to be able to come downtown, park, and not necessarily know what they're going to do, but, have a downtown that has enough options and enough alternatives that they can make a whole afternoon there, a whole day out of it. So that's just a little flavor of what we heard. We also had a community meeting with 250 people. We heard many of similar things. I would like to say that the only thing that was not different but complementary to it is that folks could actually, we had a kit of parts, and people could put like buildings together on the site and come up with site alternatives. That was really fun. It's like, you put on your site planning hat for a few minutes. We had about 36 people or 36 concepts for that. And that doesn't sound like much out of 250, but it takes about 10 minutes per concept for folks to do this. So we put a lot of effort into analyzing it. And I would like to say that out of the 36 concepts, 80% of them had mixed-use buildings, and all of them had a mix of uses. There was not a single concept that had, the entire site dedicated to retail, the entire site dedicated to park. People expect this 9-acre site to be a multitude of things and to be an extension of downtown, because it's pretty big. It's 9 acres. That is twice the footprint of what downtown currently is. So it's a really exciting future phase for this area.
Sure is. The one thing I know about City of Smyrna residents is they're passionate and energetic, and that y'all are coming out and participating in this process, sharing your viewpoints and your wishes for what that space is going to be. It's just fantastic, and I hope that you'll continue to do that. We've got a meeting coming up on August 18th. Andrea will tell you more about that. That'll be the next opportunity to be in person and provide input. But I just really appreciate the work that you all are doing to make sure we get this right for the people that live here and give them what they want. Andrea, anything you want to add?
I thought I would talk a little bit about what comes next. You talked about the meeting that's coming up. We're going to be having this meeting, next community meeting, as he said, on August 18th at 5:30 p.m. in the evening. It is an update. There'll be a small presentation at the beginning, but it's also an open house, so you're welcome to come anytime throughout and give your commentary. At that meeting, there will be a number of concepts that will be available for you to comment on. This is our first attempt to see if we've put something together that reflects what the community said in the survey results. So important for you to come out if you can. If you cannot participate, and in addition to that, after that meeting, there will be another chance for online input. So look for that to come after that, and that'll be open for a couple of weeks. So you have your opportunity to give your input, so be sure to get involved. That's what we need from you. And then people kind of ask what happens next. There's a third phase of this project coming up at the end of the year, where they're going to take the site concepts that they present in August, hear the community's input, and come back with a preferred concept. So that, hopefully, this entire master plan process will be wrapped up by the end of this year. And then kind of what happens after that. Hopefully council will agree to adopt that plan is what we want to move forward with. And then similar to what we did in Sandy Springs, we're going to go out to the development community and talk to them about, this is a concept plan, we know you can build it, and we want to go through a request for qualifications process for qualified developers who've done this type of work. And we'll have those folks come in for interviews, and then we'll have the shortlisted firms actually put together their plan based on our concept. Because these are concepts that we're coming up with, they'll need to put together an entire proposal to us of what they would actually do, what the project would actually look like, and the financial piece to it as well. That process will probably take, that RFP process will probably take about a year to complete. So, just expectations. The church is still using the facility.
Yeah, I was going to say that lines up with the church is renting that back from us while they're planning, and they'll continue to do that through construction of their new facility over on Atlanta Road. So that timing lines up.
It does.
This is not something to be rushed. This is something to be taking the time to get it right. And I think as these two have described, we're doing it right. We're getting the public input. We're going through everything that we need to do, slowly, deliberately, on purpose, so that we deliver a great product to the citizens of Smyrna.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lifetime opportunity, once in a lifetime opportunity. So I want to get it right.
Well, before we conclude, I want to go through a couple of other project updates for you. While we're talking about the downtown, we're putting in a new bathroom, we're changing the splash pad, and we're putting in a little kids playground over by the library. Where we are on that, looks like it'll be done next month. The splash pad, if you remember, when it was originally designed, it had a reflecting pool to transition into the Veterans Memorial, but that turned out to be a disaster as kids were getting in it and playing in it, and not at all what we had anticipated. So that has been changed. It is one full with splash pad with jets on both sides. We'll have the bathroom right next to it, and then a little kids playground to complement the big kids playground that's over by the Stillfire side in the other park. Speaking of still fire, I don't know if you've driven by downtown on Atlanta Road. The framing is up for the building. They're starting to build the interior, and I think the expected completion, wait, I'm not supposed to talk about that. It'll be sometime next year, early next year is my guess, but I'm excited about that addition to the downtown. The Ward 7 splash pad is well underway down at Riverline Park. I think they had one of the jets already working, so they're going to be doing that towards the end of the year. It'll be completed. Windy Hill Road has been referred to time and time again as the gift that just keeps on taking. It is finally substantially complete. The only thing they have to do is a few punch list items, and that'll be turned over to us. If you haven't driven that corridor, take a drive down and see what the final product is. I don't know if it was all worth it or not and the pain that everybody's been through, but it is a good final product, and I think you'll be pleased. And then the last thing I want to mention, since it's in the middle of summer and 1,000 degrees outside, is Tolleson Pool. We are still on track to replace Tolleson Pool with our awesome new concept that has a competition pool, a lazy river, recreational pool area, a little kids swim area, and a slide. As a reminder, we had to do that because of safety reasons. Tolleson was so old and literally crumbling. So we're excited about that with an anticipated opening of Memorial Day weekend of 2027. So with that, y'all have anything else you want to add?
I would just like to say we're not done listening and learning from the public in this process. I really invite everyone to attend the second public meeting. I would say this is actually the most important public meeting of the three, because this is when you actually get to see concepts and react to them. And you can still shape the outcome of this desired plan for the site. So really, really want to make sure that folks continue to tune in, and that the 2,600 people that we've engaged keeps growing even more.
Andrea?
Yeah, that's what I would say as well. We really want you to be part of this process. That's why we're taking so long to go through this. It's really important that we hear from the public.
If you can't make it to those meetings, check out our social media, our website. We've got information everywhere. If you can't make it to any of that, come to one of our regular city council meetings. If you want more information, or if you're just having trouble sleeping, come on and join us, and we'd love to see you. With that, we're going to conclude. Thank you for joining us on our City of Smyrna podcast, and we'll see you again here in a couple of months.